Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Hi, Ms. Gant. Hope you're well. You're hosting for us this afternoon, Ms. Lewis, again.
Sure.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Afternoon, Officer Milton.
Hi, I only have one. May I please go ahead?
Which, no,
Go ahead.
Okay, disposition add-on 1, Ms. Hitchens.
Okay. Who's representing Ms. Hitchens this afternoon?
It's Ms. Kim. It looks like she's connecting now, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Ms. Kim. Good afternoon, Ms. Hitchens. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Hitchens, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000635G with cruelty to animals. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
He's just not coming on, Judge.
Okay. Mr. Howard, we're on add-on position 1, Ms. Hitchens. Does she have a history?
It's a second arrest. Hold on. It was a 2015 arrest out of the state of Texas. Ordinance violation is traffic. That's all.
Good afternoon, Mr. Walker. Is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
You can proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. To the one count of cruelty to animals, the state is asking for a $25,000 good bond with the condition of no possession of any animals while out on bond. Just to tell you a little bit about this case you may be familiar with, on December 17th of last year, there was a video that went viral that was captured by a Ring doorbell at the incident location, which shows the defendant violently beating a small animal. The video was very violent. It shows the defendant picking up a small terrier-sized dog in the air and beating the dog repeatedly with a shoe. At that time, APD did begin to look for the suspect. The video was shared with Atlanta Crime Stoppers. Several commercials were shown. The video was so disturbing, Your Honor, that a private citizen actually hired a private investigator to help locate the defendant. APD worked with Fulton County Animal Services. Upon a 2-month investigation, the defendant was found, who is a resident at the apartment complex where the video was captured. I would like to note that APD did go as far as interviewing the defendant's previous employer, which is Pappadeaux's Seafood Kitchen. The reason why that is important is because the defendant actually is in her work uniform in the video. Also, APD did compare a previous body camera footage with the defendant and the same animal in the video that was captured by the Ring doorbell. I'm not sure if you have seen the video, but the defendant continuously struck the dog very violently, and that is the basis of the $25,000 good bond and no further possession of any animals, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. And to your question, no, I have not seen the video and don't know anything about this case. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Hitchinson is 30 years old. She has a lease with her roommate at the apartment where those 2 dogs are. And she has been here in Atlanta, Georgia for 2 years. And she is actually a videographer for the church. 2 churches hired her to do services online. And also she graduated from high school. She went to college, graduating for majoring in broadcasting. And indeed, she is very compassionate and help out other, injured dogs. And this dog, she actually has owned from ever since the dog was 6 weeks. And right now, it has been almost 16 years that she had a dog together. So we would like to request for, she denies all the allegations, and we would like to request for signature bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
Where is the dog at the present time?
The dog at the present time is in the possession of Fulton County Animal Control Services. They do have a designated foster home, if you will, that's taking care of the dog. It actually was 2 dogs in the residence. It's not the defendant's dog, it's actually her girlfriend's dog that she was supervising at the time. But to answer your question, it is in a foster home through Fulton County Animal Control Services, Your Honor.
Does she have any other animals that you know of, Ms. Kim?
It was just, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, Your Honor.
Both dogs were seized, Your Honor. However, it was only one dog that was the victim of the defendant. And I would just like to reiterate, I understand that the defendant has a limited criminal history. I understand that the judge has not seen the video, but it is a small terrier-sized dog. And in the video, the defendant lifts the dog up off the ground, and it's rather hard to watch. Very violently beats the dog repeatedly for quite some time. It's a very graphic video, and that is the basis for the very high bond amount, Your Honor.
Nothing further. It's going to be a $10,000 signature bond through pre-trial per the judge, a 1-day anger awareness class, no contact with animals, no drugs, no alcohol or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Hitchens.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Is that all, South Annex?
As far as I know, hopefully, yes.
Okay.
Thank you for everything.
I appreciate your services this morning. I know you had a rather tough time. All right.
Yeah, I survived.
All right. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Courtroom 2, who do we have?
Good afternoon, Judge Morrow. We have position 4, Mr. Hill.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hill. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hill, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000629F with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
16 total. History out of Georgia and Pennsylvania. Last arrest was 2017, failure to appear out of Fulton County. Before that was 2016, trespass conviction. 2013, marijuana possession, that was dismissed. Before that was an 03 probation violation. That's the Georgia history. Last arrest out of Pennsylvania was 2013. It says default in required appearance. 2011, default in required appearance. I don't know. I guess that's their FTA, I guess. 2008, possession of an instrument of crime, simple assault. Recklessly endangering and DUI. The simple assault, he was found guilty for that. The ag assault was dismissed. The reckless was dismissed. That's it.
That it?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Afternoon, Ms. Webb.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. In this case stems, as the facts are alleged, stems from an incident that took place on yesterday evening, or afternoon rather, around 1:25 p.m. at an incident location of 1696 Beecher Street, that's BEECHER Street, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia, where Atlanta PD officers responded to a dispute call where they were met with Miss, I'm going to spell out the name of things, Shalonze Mivens, that's SHALONZE Mivens, MIVENS, who informed the officers that the defendant had attacked her. Ms. Mivens and the defendant are siblings, Your Honor, and they do reside in the same home together. Earlier in the afternoon, there was an argument that took place between the two that had turned physical when the defendant was moving a refrigerator in the kitchen in the home and then took the sister's cell phone. And when she asked to take it back, he grabbed her, ripped her shirt, and pinned her down to the ground. And the officer who responded was able to see visible marks on Ms. Mivens' neck. For those reasons, the state is requesting a $4,000 surety bond, a stay away from the incident location at 1696 Beecher Street, no further contact with Ms. Mivens, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons out on bond. Your Honor, we're requesting this surety bond because of the defendant's criminal history. And we believe he has a high likelihood of reoffending, considering those simple assault charges out of Philadelphia in 2008, as you've already heard from pretrial. We also believe that he is a flight risk, as he does have an FTA out of Fulton County from 2017. But I will note that that was later cited as NOD, or not on docket, Your Honor. But those other previous FTAs that were out of Philly as pretrial also stated were from 2011, 2013, and there were actually 2 in 2011, Your Honor. So those are the reasons for the state's recommendation today.
Who's representing Mr. Hill?
I am, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you today?
I'm doing well.
Good. You can proceed.
Mr. Hill has been in the state of Georgia since he was 14. He was born in Philly. He's gainfully employed, and he has been gainfully employed with the same employer for the past 2 years. He currently resides at the incident location with both his mom and the alleged victim in this case. He vehemently denies these allegations. I have not had an opportunity to look at Ms. Mivens' history, but it's my understanding that she has a history of violence as opposed to Mr. Hill. We are asking for a signature bond signature bond through the jail based on a few reasons. Number one, he is the personal caregiver for his mother. He provides an array of services from helping her clothe, use the bathroom, and things like that. And he is the main individual that's able to do that. Number two, he does not have anybody that would be able to assist him with a bond if he were to receive a bond today. He has very limited income based on, although he's gainfully employed for the past few years, his income is limited as he essentially, I guess, is an unofficial, his mom is an unofficial dependent of his. Based on this, and I would argue the lack of violent history and the fact that these charges are heavily contested, we would ask for a signature bond through the jail.
Has anyone spoken with Ms. Mivens or with the mother?
Yes, Your Honor, our office actually attempted to make contact with, our victim advocate attempted to make contact with Ms. Mivens this morning, and we were not able to. I'm just going to double check to see maybe if there was a call back since earlier. Yes, sir. We did reach out to her, but we were not able to get in contact with her. But the state will just like to say that Ms. Mivens is not the one who's before the court today. It is Mr. Hill. So her criminal history or history of violence isn't relevant for the case at bar.
Ms. Watson Catholic, does he have somewhere else to go until we figure out? Until we speak with Ms. Mivens or his mom?
My understanding is he does not.
How old is he?
He has very limited, he doesn't have anywhere else to go. The 3 of them, it was 4 of them, in my understanding, living in the house. It was him, his mom, the alleged victim, and the alleged victim's boyfriend in the house. This incident stemmed from, my understanding was an argument between the alleged victim and the alleged victim's boyfriend. Again, the charges are vehemently denied by Mr. Hill, but my understanding is he doesn't have anywhere else to go. So he would be asking for no violent contact with the alleged victim.
Well, that's difficult for me to do because, I mean, even for his own safety, and this only happened yesterday. So I'm not so inclined to keep him in, to give him a signature bond, but he's going to need until there's a cooling off period or until you can come back to modify this bond order someplace else that he can go.
Yes, Your Honor.
So it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact at this time with Ms. Nivens. Stay away from the 1696 Beecher Street Southwest address. He can go back to that address on one occasion to retrieve any belongings that he may have there. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. If you get in touch with either the mother or Ms. Nivens and assess their needs, I'm more than happy to seek or to modify the bond, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Good luck to you, Mr. Hill.
Thank you, sir, very much for being understanding. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next, we have position 2, Mr. Campbell.
Good afternoon, Mr. Campbell. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
I'd like an extension.
Mr.
Hold on, Mr. Campbell. Let me tell you, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You're asking for an extension, but this is a bond hearing, so that you.
Well, I plead not guilty, sir.
Okay, that's fine. I'm not asking how you plead today, Mr. Campbell. My only question was do you agree to have this hearing held by video?
Yes, sir, I guess it's all right.
Okay, well, thank you. Mr. Campbell, you've been charged in case 22 CR 0006278 with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
This fifth arrest, last was 2011. Failure to appear, terroristic threats, and criminal trespass. Disposition was not prosecuted. Before that was 1998 disorderly conduct. No, 2011 terroristic threats. And then 1998 disorderly conduct. And he had an arrest in Alabama from the 90s. That's it.
Okay. Before we move forward, I saw that there were 2 interpreters on the line. Do we need both interpreters to be present today? I don't want to keep them here if there's not a need for. Is there a reason?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yes, I think there has been an overbooking, but I scheduled to this session on a regular basis. And I have already informed the interpreter via chat what happened, and also the criminal division directors and the administration office who asked me to announce this to you.
Okay, thank you. And you're here for position 6. Do you know what position you're here for?
No, sir, I have to be here for all the defendants present.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Judge. This is Amy Bailey. I'll log off. I'll check with the person that assigned me the job and see what happened. But I don't have a position number, but it says Lopez Villadrez was the defendant.
All right, Thank you, Ms. Bailey. I appreciate you being here. That is position number 6. So we appreciate it. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Let's see. And are we going to have Mr. Lopez? Is he going to need an interpreter this afternoon? Do we know who represents him?
Your Honor, I represent him.
And he's going to need an interpreter?
Yes, he does.
Okay, very good. That's what I wanted to know. All right, back to Mr. Campbell. Ms. Webb.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm sorry, my computer went away. Yes, Your Honor. The facts are as alleged. This incident took place on yesterday at the La Quinta Inn in Hapeville, located at 1200 Virginia Avenue, Hapeville, Georgia, where Hapeville Police Department responded to a trespass call. And upon responding to the hotel, they were met with the hotel staff who informed them that the defendant was asked to leave the property several times and he refused and remained in the hotel's lobby. The defendant was issued 3 prior notices to not return to that property. One on December 16th, 2021 by Sergeant Carroll, one on December 20th, 2021 by Officer Halton, and another on just last month, or actually 2 weeks ago, on January 22nd by the same Officer Halton. For those reasons, we are requesting a $2,500 surety bond, a stay away from the La Quinta Inn in Hapeville, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Your Honor, we are making this request because of the fact that the defendant has received those 3 prior notices, 2 of which occurred in the past 2 months, or rather 2 weeks. And he has continuously to return to that location after being told by management not to, and by actual law enforcement not to. And we also believe that the defendant is a flight risk, as he does have those previous FTAs from Fulton County in 2011, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Campbell, you can put your hand down. I see you there, and I'm going to give you the opportunity to address anything that you need to address with the court or with your attorney, Ms. Gant, okay? So let me get to you. So if you just sit tight for me, okay? Ms. Gant.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Donald Campbell is 71 years old. He is a lifelong resident of Atlanta. He is proud father of 7 children. He informed me that he is a Vietnam veteran, and he also is disabled through Social Security. Therefore, he has limited means to pay any bond. Your Honor, Mr. Campbell has a bachelor's in mechanical engineering, and he also states, Your Honor, that he currently has an infection in his leg, and that he is supposed to have doctor's appointments so that he can continue to get that condition addressed. So it is our position that remaining in jail would be difficult for him in light of that infection. I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Campbell's behalf. As we heard from pretrial, his last contact with law enforcement was over 10 years ago. He has no convictions for any similar offenses. The FTA was in 2011 as well. Therefore, we do not believe that he is a flight risk. We are unopposed to the stay away, and Mr. Campbell understands that he needs to stay away from there. However, he denies the allegations. He states that he had a legitimate business purpose to be on the property. So, Your Honor, therefore, I am requesting a signature bond, and at this time, we're unopposed to the stay away. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Campbell, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. I'm going to give you a signature bond, Mr. Campbell, okay?
Yes, sir.
And all right, so but you cannot go back to that La Quinta Inn, whether you for any reason right now, okay?
Mr. Campbell.
Sir, could I say something?
Remain silent. Remain silent, sir. That is the advice to you. Remain silent.
I'm going to give you a signature bond, and you're going to be able to come back and fight your case later on, okay? So, but I just want to make sure that I don't want you to get put back in here. If you go back to that La Quinta Inn, you're gonna get arrested again. You understand? So don't go back there, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail, and a stay away from the La Quinta Inn on Virginia Avenue. Drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Campbell.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Where do I go from here?
You just have a seat right here.
This is number 8.
Tomorrow, they're asking for a breakout room for the Spanish interpreter to talk to their client. I don't know what courtroom he's in, but I guess they will let me know.
The Courtroom 2, I believe.
Is he there already?
Yeah, I believe it's in Courtroom 2.
Okay. Is Courtroom 2 on?
Yeah, they're on.
All right. So if we can just go ahead and put, as long as this isn't, we put Ms. Kim, Courtroom 2, and the interpreter in the breakout room.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, Judge?
We're gonna need to. Oh, is 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 position 6 in courtroom 2?
Yes, he is.
Okay, so I don't, we'll have to hold that till last then. I want to get through everybody before we take, if not, unless we're gonna go to, yeah. It normally takes a little while with an interpreter, so I don't want to shut everything down. I'd rather just do that at the end. Okay?
That's not what I meant, Your Honor. I just wanted to interview him prior to the hearing with you,
Well,
Your Honor.
Okay, well, if you're gonna interview him, he's in courtroom 2 though. And so the only way you can interview him is if we go into a breakout room. And if you go into a breakout room now, we'll shut all the courtroom 2 down and then get more people in courtroom 2.
Okay.
So that's why I want to do it.
We'll do that last.
And
Problem,
so we
Your
can
Honor.
deal with everybody else first, okay?
Yes.
All right, so who do we have in courtroom 2?
Yeah, we're gonna go to, this
What?
number 8, Mr. Wagner.
Okay, and this is Mr. Wagner here. Good afternoon, Mr. Wagner. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
I can't hear you, Mr. Wagner.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000631D with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
He has 19 cycles. He's been in jail since December for some felony charges. You want to know the charges or?
Yes.
Book and sheet got smash and grab burglary, possession of a firearm by convicted felon, participation in criminal street gang. 4 counts of that. 3 counts of smash and grab burglary in the first degree, simple battery, family violence. He doesn't have a bond set on those.
Your Honor, if I may interrupt, there is a situation on this case where it's a possibility we have the wrong defendant before us. So if I could go ahead and address that before we get into it.
Okay.
So our victim advocate has spoken with the victim in this case, which is Miss Regina Mobley. And she stated that the APD arrested the wrong defendant at this time. Miss Mobley also stated that she would be on the Zoom today. So if she is, the state would like to ask Miss Mobley a line of questions so that she may confirm on the record that the defendant in custody is indeed the wrong person.
He's under Booney, OG Booney.
Okay.
So this is Miss Mobley. Miss Mobley, what I'll need for you to do is unmute yourself for me, ma'am. Raise your right hand for me. You swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Mitchell.
Yes. Hi, Ms. Mobley. My name is Mariah Mitchell, and I'm the prosecutor on this case for the state. Are you able to see the defendant before the court today?
Yes, I did see him.
Well, are you able to see him on the screen?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Are you able to see the Courtroom 2 video? Because I'm going to have you confirm for the record that that is not the person, the right person before us.
No, I just see you in your background.
I think that maybe if he's
I see the judge.
Okay, so he's going to need to speak, Ms. Mitchell, and then maybe he'll pop up. So, Mr. Wagner, can you say something to the court, please?
Yes, sir, Judge. How's everybody doing? I'm Mr. Wagner.
All right, did you see him?
Yes, I did.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Mitchell.
Ms. Mobley, is this the individual that battered you on December 25th of 2021?
No.
Do you know who this individual before us today is?
Yes, that's my son, Antonio Wagner.
And for the record, this is the wrong defendant before the court on this case today, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Your Honor, the state is reviewing this case and pending further investigation. We will consent to a signature bond at this time, and we will work closely with law enforcement to ensure that the right defendant is prosecuted for this case.
All right, so who is the alleged perpetrator? What's the alleged perpetrator's name? Do you know, Ms. Mitchell?
Yes,
Sorry.
it is Javaris Wagner. Apparently, allegedly, Javaris and Antonio are brothers, and they have used each other's names as aliases, which may be where the confusion comes from. But
So this is Javaris in front of us.
No, that is Antonio.
This is Antonio.
Yes, sir.
All right, but we have him down as Javaris, as he's booked in as Javaris.
correct. And even in their criminal history, there's some confusion because for Antonio, on our GCIC, we have Antonio pulled up, but within that history, Javaris's charges are listed as well. So we're gonna have to follow up on that.
Okay, and so for Antonio, if he gets a signature bond, is there anything else that's holding him?
Aside from the confusion, it appears that he does have other felony charges that are holding him at this time.
He doesn't.
Okay, so is the confusion the same confusion that's in this case?
That is correct, Your Honor. However, that will be with the district attorney's office. He does have a felony possession of firearms case with the same exact confusion. I believe that his brother has used his identity going back to 2019 and used his license, and that is the basis for the confusion. But after speaking with the mother and have her identifying and explain the situation, we are consenting to the signature bond. The warrant is valid. However, law enforcement has booked the incorrect brother.
So no objection to, say, a $2,000 signature bond through the jail.
That is correct. And we will continue to work with the sheriff's office to ensure that these jailings are not listed under this particular defendant's profile, and the correct brother is apprehended.
All right, and so $2,000 signature bond through the jail. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Wagner. Thank you, Ms. Mobley.
Thank you.
And I guess that's fine with you, Ms. Watson-Cafe.
I mean, I was going to ask for a dismissal, but short of that, a signature bond, because we don't have the right defendant in this case.
Right.
That's correct, but the warrant is valid. However,
The warrant, I agree that the warrant, and I don't
control who law
disagree.
enforcement arrest. So, I mean, the case is correct. It is in the correct defendant's name. However, it's the wrong person. So we're not going to dismiss the case, but we will work with law enforcement so they will know that they have apprehended the incorrect person and that these jailings need to be removed from this particular person's profile.
Do that post haste, Mr. Walker. I mean, I understand.
We absolutely will, Your Honor. It's on our radar, and we're working with the victim and the sheriff's office as we speak.
Okay, very good.
We definitely understand and agree.
All right. All right. Thank you all. So, go ahead.
I'm just confused as I've never had the situation where it's just not a dismissal because of the wrong person being named. I've had a situation where the wrong person is named and then it's a dismissal. I understand what Mr. Walker is saying, that the right person is named, but it seems like, I don't know, it just seems like it'd be easier to start over for the state to make sure that's the right person, rather than having this defendant continue to have to fight against the charges when it's not the right person. And they know that it's not the right, like it's not being disputed, I don't think. I mean, I guess the signature bond resolves it for now. I'm just concerned.
The state is pursuing charges against the correct person. I can assure you we're not going to be pursuing charges against the incorrect person. However, it's more so
the point is that you are, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the point?
I'm sorry, say that again, Your Honor.
I said the point is that you are.
No, I would say it's more so an issue with law enforcement. We can't control who law enforcement picks up and who they book on the certain charges. So we will be working with the sheriff's office to ensure that this jailing is removed from this defendant. It's my understanding that this defendant on his name band has his correct and accurate name. on his wristband in the jail. So it's more so of a phone call to say, hey, this person is booked under incorrect charges. Can you remove this jailing from this person? Because the jail is aware of who this defendant's true identity is. So the warrant has the correct, and the accusation has the correct defendant listed. And the jail is aware. However, we will be working with the sheriff's office to have the incorrect jailing.
Okay, Ms. Mobley, I'm gonna need for you to remain silent, ma'am. All right. I understand what you're saying, Mr. Walker, but if you know that this person before us is not the person in the warrant, and he's is another person, then I don't understand what the jail has to do with whether or not you can now process this case against him.
Because the jail is the entity who booked this defendant under those charges.
But
so
you
they
all,
have,
I mean, but still a warrant was taken out and you all are prosecuting him based on that, right?
right, and that's why we are requesting the signature bond and asking for some time to work with the jail to ensure that the incorrect jail booking is removed from his profile.
Okay, so what I want, so I'm gonna allow you that opportunity, but I don't, if this ever comes back up like this again, I want you all to work this out. I mean, before you get here.
Absolutely, there are several jailings under both defendants' name. There are several mugshots. So while we understand what the issue is, it's not necessarily something that can be taken care of in the matter of a couple of hours. But however, it is something that can be taken care of in a couple of days.
He's been in jail for 2 days now. So.
Correct, and he has a $10,000 bond on his felony case. So we are consenting to a signature bond. We're not attempting to hold the wrong individual on incorrect charges. We're just asking, this is his first time before us today. We got this case this morning, and we are, working as expeditiously as possible to ensure he's not being held. I'm working with the victim. Obviously, I don't have any control over the district attorney's office, but again, he's had a $10,000 bond that's also holding him for over a week now, I believe. So I'm working to ensure that he's not being held on these charges, and with the jail to ensure that these charges are removed from his jailing screen. Because I don't want the wrong person being held in Fulton County Jail any more than anybody else does.
All right, so he's getting out on a signature bond on this case, so.
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right. Well, you all work it out as I said, as quickly as possible.
Thank you.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Wagner. Who do we have next?
Okay.
Next is position 7, Mr. Smith.
Good afternoon, Mr. Smith. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good afternoon, sir. Yes, I do.
Okay, very good. You've been charged in case 22 CR 0006268H with terroristic threats. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
24 total. They got a history out of North Carolina, Colorado, Virginia, Maryland, and DC. Last arrest was in Colorado, 2019. A trespass and intimidation. Those were dismissed by the DA. Got a 2006 arrest out of New Jersey. Resisting arrest, obstruction, and hindering. That was a conviction. Last arrest out of DC was back in 2003, so I'm gonna go into that. Hold on. Last arrest out of North Carolina was back in the 90s. Next. Got a 2005 assault second degree, not guilty, out of the state of Maryland. Got another 05 arrest. It says possession of CDs. I think that's controlled substance. That was dismissed. Virginia, I got an 07 robbery. That was non-pros. Before that was in the 90s, a burglary that was non-pros. I think that's it.
Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, in this case, the police report states that officers arrived at the Oaks of Buckhead condominiums on 3475 Oak Valley Road, Northeast Atlanta, Georgia, and met with the property manager and victim in this case, Ms. Tammy, spelled Tammy, Primus, spelled Primus. Ms. Primus stated that since the defendant purchased a condo on the property, he's been terrorizing the staff and herself by making threats and constantly cursing them out and creating a big scene. Now, Ms. Primus is afraid and believes the defendant is going to carry out his threats one day, being that this behavior has been going on for weeks. On the day of the incident, February 7th, 2022, the defendant was found in the lobby using vulgar language and creating a scene over his name being added to the register. Once the defendant left the office, Ms. Primus was left very distraught and pulled up the surveillance cameras and was able to hear what the defendant said to her that made her so distraught. And the defendant specifically stated to Ms. Primus, "I'll knock your effing ASS out." And when he left the office and entered the lobby, he stated, "I'll light this whole building up." The defendant, the state's bond recommendation in this case is going to be a $3,000 surety bond, no further contact with Ms. Tammy Primus, a stay away from the Oaks of Buckhead condominiums, a one-day anger awareness course, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Your Honor, the state's concern here is defendant's risk of reoffending. According to Ms. Primus, this is not the first incident to occur. Again, he's been terrorizing the staff and herself since he's moved in. Ms. Primus is so afraid that she's been advised by the property's attorney to lock herself in her office and to avoid contact with the defendant. Ms. Primus now has to work in an environment where she's afraid for her safety, along with the safety of her staff and even the building. And the state is concerned that the defendant will attempt to intimidate Ms. Primus as the witness and victim in this case. As pre-trial also stated, the defendant is a multi-state offender with a violent history. He has a prior assault in 2005 in Maryland and a crimes against persons to cause bodily injury and place a victim in fear in 2019 in Colorado. Defendant is also a flight risk, being that he has a prior FTA in Virginia and a fugitive from justice charge in DC. So that's going to be the basis of our recommendation, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Mitchell. Ms. Gant?
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Horace Smith is 55 years old. He was born in Washington, D.C., but has been in the Atlanta area since December of 2021. Your Honor, we are opposed to the stay away at 3475 Oak Valley Road, as Mr. Smith just purchased the property there. He states that it is a penthouse and that the property manager is on site there. So in the alternative, Your Honor, we are requesting a no violent contact order and that Mr. Smith be allowed to continue to reside at a place that he just purchased. Now, Mr. Smith has community ties here. He has a mother here. He also has a 24-year-old son. He also is the proud father of a 30-year-old. He has 3 grandchildren, and he informed me that he is an Army veteran. He is 100% service connected. He was an Army Ranger while in service. He completed college. He has a BS in network cybersecurity. He has been employed as an IT consultant for the past 20 years. And Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Smith's behalf. We heard a lot about his background, but I would bring to the court's attention that his last conviction that I recall hearing is 2006. That is far too remote for the court to consider. Your Honor, regarding the assault conviction, I heard that he was found not guilty of that, and he just doesn't have any recent or significant criminal history to support the state's position. So therefore, Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond. And again, we are opposed to the stay away. And we are unopposed to the restriction on drugs, alcohol, weapons. Thank you.
Anything further, Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor, just to reiterate, this incident happened just yesterday. This is not the only incident. It details in the police report the other instances where he has terrorized and threatened Ms. Primus and or the staff of the Oaks of Buckhead condominiums. At this point, again, we are concerned for their safety along with the safety of the building and other residents. It is clear that the defendant does have an anger issue. And so we're going to continue to request a no further contact and stay away, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, if I may, regarding the allegations, Mr. Smith denies these allegations. He states that this stems from the failure of the office manager to include him in a registry. So in other words, whenever there are visitors there for him, he is not recognized as a legitimate resident. That is the basis of the, I guess, contention between these two. But again, he denies making any terroristic threats. He denies the allegations completely and states that he was merely discussing the issue regarding him not being acknowledged as a true resident there. Thank you.
And Your Honor, to clarify, it states clearly in the police report that Ms. Primus was able to pull up the camera surveillance footage from the lobby and in the office where it was clear, they could hear clearly what the defendant said. Again, he said, "I'll knock," to Ms. Primus, "I'll knock your effing ASS out." And then as he was walking out to the lobby, he said, "I'll light this whole building up." Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, your client has his hand up.
I advise you not to speak, Mr. Smith, and Your Honor, if I just may say that again, these are allegations, Your Honor. These are allegations at this point. He's presumed innocent. Mr. Smith, I advise you to remain silent. The judge has not ruled on your behalf yet. Has not ruled in the case yet, yeah. And anything that you say can and will be used against you, sir.
I understand, but what is being said is untrue. And there's not.
We have denied the allegations, sir, and offered a competing version.
Ms. Gant, as a defense of myself in this manner, I'm not contending, I'm just saying.
I advise you to remain silent. It is not in your interest, Mr. Smith. I've spoken on your behalf.
Mr. Smith, quite often, people think that you've had your attorney give me a good overview of what's going on. Quite often, defendant can think that they can say something that's going to be helpful, when in actuality, it turns out that it's not helpful. So you have the right to remain silent. This is just a bond hearing. You're going to have to get the opportunity to come back at a later date and plead your case. Okay, so this is just what the bond's going to be on the case. All right. So
I understand that, sir. My concern is that being under a condition that's restrictive based upon what is being portrayed from the prosecutor in this matter. And I bought this $700,000 penthouse that me, my mom, and are living in. And like she said, I have not been recognized as a guest for 2 months. I've discussed this and asked them before cordially. I have a good relationship with the concierge. They have my keys to my house right now. So I have not terrorized the staff. And this is what I'm just saying. I have not, I'm 100% service connected disabled. And I have not, listen, Ms. Gang, I'm just explaining to him that this is not, this incident has been ongoing. I've tried to address this. So that's all I'm saying. I'll take your advice at hand. I am not the guy that's made to be up to be by this prosecutor. And that's what I wanted to address. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
So it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. I'm not going to keep him away from his condo, but I am going to have him have no further contact with Ms. Primus. And no further contact means no contact whatsoever. If you're going to contact someone, it's going to have to be someone else that has to do with the Buckhead condo.
$200,000.
And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right.
Thank you.
Good luck to you, Mr. Smith.
Judge, you said it was 3,000 SOB through the jail, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
Thank
Who do we
you.
have next?
Position 3, Hankins.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hankins. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Hankins, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000628G with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
20 total between Georgia, Louisiana, and Texas. Last arrest was 2017. It's a failure to appear. That was out of Fulton County. That was NOD. 2014 suspended license, 2013 DUI. Before that was an 07 probation violation. That's the Georgia history. As far as Texas, we got assault causing bodily injury, family member conviction, 2011. Got another 2011 arrest, assault causing bodily injury, family member conviction. That's it.
Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place on December the 7th at 38090 Wolf Creek Circle, City of South Fulton, Georgia, around midnight. City of South Fulton police did respond to a domestic dispute call where they were met by Miss Pamela Bentley. That's Pamela Bentley, Bentley, who informed him that she and her boyfriend, the defendant, had a physical altercation. The defendant allegedly struck her with an open hand to the face and with closed fists to the legs several times. The responding officer was able to note visible bruising on Miss Bentley's legs. And when the officers arrived to the scene, she did inform them that he had become very violent with her that evening and that she was 68 years old. Your Honor, the state is recommending a $4,000 surety bond, no further contact with Miss Pamela Bentley, a stay away from the incident location at 3890 Wolf Creek Circle, and a one-day anger awareness. Your Honor, we're making this recommendation because our office was able to make contact with Miss Bentley. And she informed our office that she is absolutely terrified of the defendant and that while he has been in custody, actually, he has been calling her repeatedly from jail, but she refuses to answer the phone because she does not want to have a relationship with him any longer. She informed us that she is indeed afraid for her life and believes that if he is released from jail, that he will retaliate against her. Your Honor, the warrant and the reports that we have state that the two did reside together at that incident location at the time, but she informed our office today that they no longer reside together and they are not in a relationship any longer, and that he is not welcome to come back to her home. And that she does firmly believe that the defendant will pursue violence against her out of retaliation for her seeking prosecution in this case. So the state is highly concerned with witness intimidation as well, Your Honor, and that he might also be a possible flight risk since he does have those histories for FTAs, and considering that violent history out of Houston for assault in 2010, assault with bodily injury in May of 2011 and December 2011, and assault with family violence out of Houston from October 2011 as well, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Webb. Ms. Watson Cafe?
Yes. Mr. Hawkins is 59 years old. He's a lifelong resident of Georgia. He has achieved a bachelor's, completed his bachelor's in 1993. He has been self-employed in the construction industry since 2013. However, his business has been significantly impacted by COVID, and he estimates that he brings in approximately $500 a month. He also receives public assistance in the form of food stamps due to his limited income. Mr. Hankins, does not oppose the stay away order, a stay away from the alleged victim. In this case, he does deny the allegations as presented by the state. He does have his own residence, which he owns in Atlanta, which he would easily be able to return to. And he has indicated to me that he has no reason to return to the alleged victim's address. He doesn't have any items to retrieve. Based on his limited income, Your Honor, and I would argue the lack of recent history, Your Honor, we are asking for a signature bond in this case. I think any concerns that the state may have can be, with respect to Mr. Hankins contacting the alleged victim, can be handled by way of a no contact order. And he'll be aware that should he violate it, he would be right back here. So I think that would be sufficient to address the state's concerns.
Okay, it's going to be a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Pamela Bentley. Stay away from the Wolf Creek Circle address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Mr. Hankins, no contact means absolutely no contact. No Facebook contact, no Twitter contact, no personal contact, no contact whatsoever. You understand me?
I understand 100%.
All right, very good. Good luck to you, Mr. Hankins.
Thank you.
Next, we have position 9, Mr. Walker.
Good afternoon, Mr. Walker. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Walker, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000630J with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
37 total. Let's see. Last arrest was 2012 grand theft out of Miami. Grand theft, 3rd degree. That was a conviction. I got a criminal trespass. That was a conviction from 2010 out of Florida. Most of the history come out of Florida. Got another arrest for grand theft, criminal mischief conviction. That was from 2010. 2010 possession of cocaine conviction. A trespass conviction from 2009. Got a felony battery arrest that was charges were dropped from 2009. Resisting officer without violence conviction. 2008. It says deadly missile throw firing a weapon. Man, I hate Florida history. That's from 2007. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Mr. Howard. Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor. The police report states that the defendant in this case battered Miss Heather, common spelling, Gawlick, spelled Gawlick, who is the other person living in the same household, by biting her left arm and biting her upper back and hitting her on her nose with a baby car seat. It started as a verbal argument between Miss Gawlick and the defendant over a text message, and the defendant wanting Miss Gawlick to be removed from the apartment. The defendant was initially removed from the apartment and was given a courtesy ride to another location by the officer who arrived during the first call of their domestic dispute. The defendant then returned back to their apartment, and that's when he bit Miss Gawlick on her left upper back and her upper back side, leaving an open wound. He also hit Miss Gawlick with their baby's car seat. They do share a child together, a 13-month-old daughter. Hit her with the car seat on her nose, leaving another open wound. Ms. Gawlick was checked by Grady for her injuries that morning. Your Honor, the state's recommendation is going to be a $5,000 surety bond, no further contact with Heather Gawlick. We're going to request no third-party contact with the child. The state has safety concerns for the child due to the unsounded charges and violent behavior using the baby's car seat on this case. Stay away from the address 500 Northside Circle Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, which is where they reside. A one-day anger awareness course, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. The state's concerns here are defendant's risk of reoffending. He is a multi-state offender, as heard from pretrial. He does have a violent history. He was convicted of battery felony in 2006 in Florida, a firing weapon conviction in 2008, also in Florida. Again, majority of the charges are going to be from Florida. The defendant also had other violent charges such as aggravated assault, battery, firing weapon toward a building in 2009, another felony battery in 2007, 2 felony batteries in 2006, the 2 batteries that I will not sound also in 2006, a domestic violence injunction violation in 2006, and another battery in 1998. Furthermore, the victim, Ms. Golick, spoke with our victim advocate and stated that this is an ongoing issue with the physically and mentally abusive to her. She says she's in the process of filing a TPO and wants no contact and to stay away from the defendant until she's able to leave their residence with their daughter. We're also concerned that the defendant is a flight risk. It appears he has insufficient ties with the state, being that majority of his history is in Florida. And he also has a fugitive from justice in Georgia from a charge in Florida. Our victim advocate has notified me that the victim in this case, Ms. Golick, is on the Zoom call and would like to speak on this case. So nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Mitchell. Ms. Gant?
Right, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Rashard Walker is 38 years old. He has been in the Atlanta area for the past 7 years. Your Honor, at this time, we are opposed to the stay away at 500 Northside Circle. That is a residence that he shares with Ms. Golick. The couple share a child together, a 13-month-old daughter. Mr. Walker completed 10th grade. He is working on his GED, and at this time, Your Honor, he is self-employed as a handyman. Regarding the allegations, Mr. Walker denies the allegations. He states that he did not hit Ms. Golick with the car seat. He states that they were playing with the car seat and it was an accidental, the car seat made accidental contact with her. He also denies biting Ms. Golick. Now, Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond for Mr. Walker. Pre-trial, he is recommended through pre-trial, and I would bring to the court's attention that his last arrest was 10 years ago. Most of his offenses are 10 plus years ago, Your Honor. We did not hear about any recent FTAs. Therefore, I do not believe that he is a flight risk. He has demonstrated that since 2006, when that battery charge was there, that he had not been involved in any further instances of violence. Your Honor, I am requesting a third-party transfer, and if Your Honor is not inclined to grant or to not order a stay away, I would ask any alternative for a one-time law enforcement escort so that he may retrieve his belongings. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Garlick, I see you there on the line. If you would like to testify in this case, I'll need for you to unmute yourself and I'll have to swear you in. Raise your right hand. Okay. Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you. What would you like to tell the court?
I just would like to tell the court that I do want to keep that stay away, and I don't want to have any contact with him at all. I don't even want him to come to the residence because I'm at fear for my life. I'm scared. And I don't want to have no contact with him. This has been an ongoing issue with Mr. Walker. And he has not been working on his GED. He has not had a job.
Objection, Your
He's
Honor.
had one job the whole
Relevance.
time that I've been with him.
Let her speak, Ms. Gann. Go ahead. Go
I've
ahead,
been
Ms.
the one. I have a job. I've been the one supporting the family for us. So I would appreciate it if you would keep that stay away and that no contact.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Anything further, Ms. Gant, Ms. Mitchell?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right. It's gonna be a $3,000 good bond, no further contact with Heather Garwick. Stay away from the 500 North Side Circle address. He can go back to that address with law enforcement on one occasion to retrieve any belongings that he might have there. No drugs, no alcohol or weapons while out on bond. All right, good luck to you both.
Your Honor, was that a signature bond?
No, so that's a $3,000 good bond. It's a surety bond.
Why was I denied for signature bond, Your Honor?
You can talk to Ms. Deanna about that at a later date, Mr. Walker. Okay, who do we have next?
All right.
Position number 1, Mr. Anthony.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Ricky Richardson for Mr. Anthony.
Good afternoon, Mr. Richardson. How are you?
I'm fine, Judge. How are you today?
Good. So let's give him an opportunity to get situated. South, is Mr. Anthony going to stand?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Anthony. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Say yes. Yes.
We have no objection, Your Honor.
Okay. Can you hear me all right, Mr. Anthony?
Not at the moment.
Okay, get to a place where you can hear me, okay?
I think they have headphones for him.
I need the headphones. I can hear you now. It was a little loud in here.
All right. Are they getting you some headphones, Mr. Anthony?
He said, "Nah, I'm not getting none."
All right. So you make sure that you can hear me, okay? You've been charged in case 22 CR 000-633A with giving false name or address or birth date to law enforcement officer, confinement, second charge of giving a false name, and a third giving false information to law enforcement officer. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
This is 8th arrest. Last arrest was back in April. Ag assaulted deadly weapon. Criminal trespass, damage to property. Possession of a knife or a firearm during the commission. Hold on. That case number is 21 CP 199308. It was a 2019 violation of the Georgia RICO Act. Shoplifting conviction 2016. And he went to felony first appearance earlier.
Judge, I was just with him before Judge Oliver. So I kind of changed hats and came to Your Honor's courtroom. She set a $100,000 bond for him on the pending case. Just a little history, Judge. Mr. Anthony was the victim of a armed robbery, ag assault himself on yesterday or day before yesterday. He was in Atlanta Medical Center Emergency Department with a bullet. He still has a bullet, and that's why he's standing. I guess officers started to question him while he was in pain. He didn't want to talk to the officers. They asked him his name a couple of times. He was in pain and irritated. They were irritated. They actually took him from the hospital down to the precinct and then brought him back to the hospital. When he came back, he had 2 given false name charges, 1 escape or something like that. It was like 6 officers around him. So I'm saying they got the escape. But in any event, he came back and he had these charges. At some point, they discovered his name was Mr. Anthony, and then he had a pending warrant we just addressed with Judge Oliver. Judge, I'd asked the court, in light of that she set a $100,000 bond, court set a good bond on these cases of $1,000 per count, and that he appear in court with the same conditions that she had. She had no weapons, not changed his address, I believe without court notice, and not violate the law, stay gainfully employed is suitable. Judge, just some background information. Ayala, he's a lifelong resident of Atlanta, the metro area, graduated from Stockbridge High School. He graduated in 1995. He is married, has one child that's on the way. He works in the car auction business with his father. His mother works for FedEx. His grandmother was a lifelong teacher in the Fulton County system, and his father works in the car business. He has two sisters, no brothers, and they have all resided here in the metro Atlanta area, so he has substantial ties to this community.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Richardson. Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place on February the 6th at the Atlanta Medical Center. Our office is actually still gathering some of those facts that happened prior to and what actually led to the defendant's arrest. But the defendant was placed under arrest and into custody after derailing the responding officers from executing their duties by giving them 3 false names and date of births. When they asked the defendant what his name, the first time he said Demekion Garlington, spelled Dameekion, Garlington, Garlingoton, with a date of birth of October 27, 1995. Then he gave them the name John Anthony, common spelling, with the date of birth of June 20th, 1995. And then the last one was a Rupert Jones, that's R-U-P-E-R-T, Jones, common spelling, with an August 8th, 1997 date of birth, Your Honor. As far as the escape, he did attempt to run away and flee the medical center, but those double doors that are badge activated, he clearly could not be able to get out, and the medical staff did witness this, and of course did not activate the doors to let him out. But after he was again placed back into custody, he was identified as Mr. Johnny Anthony with the proper date of birth, and he had an outstanding warrant for that aggravated assault. For those reasons, Your Honor, the state is recommending a $1,500 surety per count for the false name and date of births, Your Honor. We are also requesting a $1,500 surety for the escape, a stay away from Atlanta Medical, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. Your Honor, we are concerned that the defendant is a possible flight risk. The defendant has shown the lengths that he will go to evade prosecution, and the state is not confident that he will return to court. And considering the defendant's criminal history in those open cases, the state is inclined to strongly believe that he will offend again because he's attempting to evade the judiciary, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Webb, I think he has bigger fish to fry, so it's going to be $1,000 signature bond on each count, which is through the jail, $4,000 signature bond through the jail, drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank
Good
you.
luck to you, Mr.
Thank you. Have a great day. May I be excused?
Yes, have a good afternoon.
You too. Take care.
And next we have number 10, Mr. Williams Francois.
Good afternoon, Mr. Williams Francois. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state expedited accusation calendar. This is your case, Ms. Gant. I'm sorry, while I'm doing this, Courtroom Two. Courtroom Two.
Yes, Judge.
Can we get that breakout room while I'm at 3 South for Mr. Lopez?
Okay.
Can you put him there? And so that we don't waste any time.
All right, Mr. Lopez, position 6.
Okay, so Mr. Lopez, Ms. Kim, and the interpreter need to all go into a breakout room in courtroom. All need to go into a breakout room. Let's see. I want to make sure they get there. Oh, all right. All right, I'm sorry, Mr. Williams Francois. Again, I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Mr. Williams, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, I asked you a question. Did you hear the question?
What was the question again, sir?
We're doing this by video. You agree to have your case heard by video?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, you've been charged in case 22 CR 0000634F with criminal trespass and loitering and prowling. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Judge, my coworker has that file because he went to felony earlier, so I defer to the state.
Okay, Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant, would you like me to start with the history or would you like me to start from the top?
Wherever you want to start, Ms. Mitchell.
Okay. Your Honor, in this case, the defendant was lying behind a vehicle covered in leaves. Officers were in the area searching for a subject matching the description of defendant who was said to be pulling on door handles. The defendant was found on the property of Georgia Tech campus.
Hold on, Ms. Mitchell. Let me, Mr. Williams, Francois, can you hear? Is that what you're indicating, that you couldn't hear?
I'm saying I got hard trouble tying here my right ear. The speaker right here in front of me is loud, so I had to cut it down because it was hurting.
Okay, so you good now?
I'm good.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry, Ms. Mitchell. Go ahead.
No worries. So defendant was found lying behind a vehicle covered in leaves when officers were in the area searching for a subject matching the description of the defendant who was said to be pulling on door handles in the area. The defendant was found on the property of Georgia Tech campus at the intersection of Techwood Drive and 5th Street Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, where he was seen entering into the fire lanes where they found him hiding from officers who were searching the area with flashlights. The defendant has previously criminally trespassed from the Georgia Tech campus, and that criminal trespass warning has not yet expired. The state's bond recommendation in this case is going to be a $1,500 surety as to count 1 and a $1,000 surety as to count 2, totaling a $2,500 surety bond, a stay away from the Georgia Tech campus, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Our concern here is that defendant does have a criminal history of 10 cycles in Georgia. That includes a criminal trespass that was amended to a disorderly conduct conviction in 2018. He also has a criminal trespass in 2018 and a loiter and prowl on school premises charge in 2017. We're also concerned due to the fact that the defendant has 9 probation violations between 2018 and 2020. And he has had, so within 2 years, he's had 9 probation violations. And he's also had his first offender revoked on his convictions of 4 counts of fraud in 2017. So that's going to be the basis of our recommendation, Your Honor.
What was he in felony court for today?
Financial transaction card fraud. Occurred last year.
Thank you, Ms. Mitchell. Ms. Gant?
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Taquan Francois Williams is 24 years old. He has been in the Atlanta area since 2005. He has stepchildren here, an 11-year-old son and a 4-year-old daughter. Your Honor, we are unopposed to the stay away at the Georgia Institute of Technology campus. Mr. Francois Williams completed the 11th grade. He is working on his GED. He has classes on Mondays and Wednesdays, so he is anxious to get back to those classes. Prior to last week, Your Honor, Mr. Francois Williams was unemployed and had been so since September of last year. Therefore, he does not have the means to make bond. And as we heard, he has a felony issue to contend with. Therefore, Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond on his behalf. Further about his employment, if I may just back up a little bit, he is currently employed at CKS Packaging. He just started that job last week, and he's very concerned about being terminated if he is not allowed to return, given that he is on probation. Turning to the allegations, he denies the allegations. He states that the police threw him to the ground into the leaves, and further, he states that he was on that property visiting a friend of his. However, at this time, we are unopposed to the stay away, as he is not a student there or doesn't work there. And further, we are unopposed to any conditions for no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Thank you, Your Honor.
Do you know what bond he was given in felony?
I do not know, Your Honor. It was my understanding that he had not gone to court yet when I interviewed him.
I'll find out.
Anything further, Ms. Mitchell?
No, Your Honor.
Let me give Mr. Howard a second.
$25,000 good.
Okay, thank you. All right, for these charges, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond on each count through the jail. So making a total of a $4,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from Georgia Tech. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. You understand you can't go back to Georgia Tech, Mr. Williams, Francois.
Sir.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
To answer your question for earlier, I did go to court earlier for felony court. I did. I already went through that.
All right, I understand that you did. Thank you, sir. We have anybody else at 3 South?
Your Honor.
That's it for me.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Ms. Gant.
Your Honor, I have an update from yesterday regarding the State v. Miller case.
Okay.
Your Honor, the state, just for the record, would like to object to this update and ask that Ms. Gant get with the clerk to request the defendant is placed on the next available SAP calendar and to provide the update then.
I don't know what the update is, and to be quite honest with you, Ms. Gant, I'm probably not going to remember unless I have something in front of me to indicate what was going on. I'm happy to, I understand Ms. Mitchell's concern. I'm happy to hear what your update is, but I don't know what I can do about it today.
Well, Your Honor.
What is this in regards to?
During our C calendar meeting yesterday, Your Honor had asked for counsel to update you if anyone hears an update from the witness. And I am informing the court that the complaining witness, Mr. Khan, in the State v. Miller case did reach out to me.
Okay.
And if this is the appropriate forum to discuss that.
Is this for a bond modification?
It's a modification for a stay away condition, for a bond condition.
Okay. I don't have that before me, the paperwork or anything of that nature. Can we, can you address a bond modification at tomorrow's SEA calendar?
That will be, we can do that. I will not be covering the calendar tomorrow, but we can certainly discuss with our team to address it.
Right. So do that. And to be quite honest, I'm not going to be covering that calendar tomorrow either. But do you have the case number?
I can get it for you, Your Honor, the court's indulgence.
Just so if you'll just get that case number and just so we can put it on for the modification. And I also would like for you to Ms. Gail, are you frozen or I can't tell if you're frozen or not. Oh, no, you're not.
I am not.
Get the information to Ms. Mitchell also or to the solicitor's office so they can also reach out to whomever you spoke with. All right,
Yes, Your Honor.
thank you. Okay, so we'll stand in recess until Courtroom 2 comes back on.
Who we missing?
We're missing 5 and 6, but Courtroom 2 is in conference with the interpreter.
Oh, okay.
All right. Okay, are we ready to proceed with Mr. Lopez Villadrez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Lopez Villadrez. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Buenas tardes, señor López. Yo soy el juez Morrow y esta es la sesión de asuntos de trámite rápido. Debido al virus, estamos así teniendo una teleaudiencia. ¿Está usted de acuerdo con que continuemos tratando su caso de esta manera?
Sí, muy buenas tardes. Sí, está bien, no hay problema.
Yes, good afternoon. There's no problem.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 000-625B with battery family violence.
Usted ha sido acusado en el cargo 22 CR 000-625B por violencia familiar y golpes simples.
Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Hay antecedentes.
This
Sí,
is fourth,
sí, así es.
Un momento, por favor.
Okay.
this is fourth arrest. Last arrest was November 26, 2021, driving without a valid license conviction.
Ha tenido 4 arrestos anteriores y el último ocurrió el 26 de noviembre del 2021 por manejar sin licencia.
Exacto, así es.
That's right.
DUI conviction from November as well. He's on probation for that.
Y también otro cargo por manejar bajo los efectos del alcohol de noviembre y está bajo probatoria debido a eso.
En eso es lo que estoy en el licencia.
Un momento.
Tell him to remain silent, please.
Por favor, tiene que guardar silencio y escuchar ahora, a no ser que la abogada le diga lo contrario, unless Madam Attorney will tell you differently.
2017, possession of alcohol below legal age conviction.
Y también por contener un envase de alcohol.
Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, defendant battered his wife of 3 years, Miss Gabriela, spelled Gabriella, Garcia, by elbowing her in the face.
En este caso, el acusado golpeó a su esposa de 3 años, Gabriela García, con el codo.
It started the night before when defendant had been drinking.
Empezó la noche anterior cuando el acusado había estado bebiendo.
And awoke to Miss Garcia looking into messages on his phone from other women.
Y la señora García encontró mensajes de otras mujeres en el teléfono de él.
When defendant admitted to the messages in his phone,
Cuando él admitió a recibir estos mensajes en el teléfono,
Miss Garcia became upset and threw the defendant's phone at the bed.
la señora García se enojó y le tiró el teléfono en la cama,
But not at the defendant.
pero no hacia la persona del acusado.
The defendant admitted he poorly when he chose to strike Miss Garcia in the face with his right elbow as she walked toward him.
El acusado admitió que había hecho una elección muy incorrecta al golpearla con el codo derecho de su brazo.
Miss Garcia's sister, Juliana Garcia,
La hermana de la señora García, Juliana García,
called the police after seeing the injury on Miss Garcia's face.
llamó a la policía después de ver la lesión de la señora García que tenía en la cara.
Miss Garcia stated that once the defendant was confronted with the messages,
La señora García dijo que cuando ella lo confrontó al acusado con los mensajes,
he actually became angry and slapped her in the face.
él se enojó y le dio una cachetada en la cara.
and then he punched her in her eye,
y la abofeteó en el ojo,
causing extensive swelling to that eye.
causando una inflamación importante en ese ojo.
Ms. Garcia also stated that the physical abuse happens often,
La señora García agregó que el abuso físico había ocurrido a menudo,
although this was the first time it was reported.
pero esta era la única vez que había sido denunciado.
Ms. Garcia was taken to the hospital
La señora García se la transportó al hospital
for her head pain from the assault.
debido al dolor de cabeza que sentía.
The state's bond recommendation in this case is going to be a $4,000 surety bond,
La fiscalía recomienda que se le otorgue una fianza de $4,000 bajo garantía.
no further contact with Gabriela Garcia,
Ningún tipo de contacto con Gabriela García,
a stay away from address 402 Sandalwood Drive, Sandy Springs, Georgia,
y que se mantenga alejado del 402 Sandalwood Drive en Sandy Spring, Georgia.
one-day anger awareness course,
Y que tome una clase de manejo de la ira,
and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons.
y queda prohibido el uso de alcohol, drogas y armas.
The state's concerns here is the defendant's risk of reoffending,
La preocupación de la fiscalía es debido a que el acusado ha vuelto a cometer delitos.
As stated by the victim, this is not the first occurrence of physical abuse.
Y también, con lo declarado por la víctima, al esto ser un abuso ocurrido en el pasado.
Ms. Garcia states this happens often.
Y la señora García agregó que esto ocurrió a menudo.
The state is also concerned for the safety of Ms. Garcia,
Y la fiscalía le preocupa el estado de la seguridad de la señora García.
she suffered a head injury as a result of being hit in the eye,
Ella sufrió una lesión en la cabeza como resultado del golpe en el ojo
and was not able to work afterwards.
y no pudo continuar trabajando después de eso.
We are concerned that she is afraid of the defendant
Nosotros tenemos una inquietud que ella le teme al acusado,
since she did state this happens often and that this was the first instance it was reported.
debido a que ella declaró que esto había ocurrido a menudo antes, pero era la primera vez que se había denunciado.
But it was her sister who called the police, not her.
Pero fue su hermana la que llamó a la policía, no ella.
We do not want to put Ms. Garcia in a situation
No queremos poner a la señora García en una situación
where she's intimidated by the defendant not to testify against him in this case.
en que el acusado la intimide para que ella no declare en contra de él en una audiencia.
That's gonna be the basis of our recommendation, Your Honor.
Y esa es la base de nuestra recomendación, su señoría.
Mr. Lopez Villadrez is 21 years old.
El señor López tiene 21 años de edad.
He came to Georgia about 7 years ago.
Él llegó a Georgia hace más o menos 7 años.
He lives in that 402 Sandalwood Drive, Atlanta, Georgia, with his wife.
Él vive en esa dirección de 402 Sandalwood Drive, Sandy Spring, Georgia, con su esposa.
For about 3 to 4 years.
Y ha vivido ahí por más o menos 3 a 4 años.
He currently works as an auto mechanic to repair cars, windshield, and back glass.
Él trabaja en la automecánica arreglando vidrios, o sea, parabrisas, ventanillas, ese tipo de cosas.
And he never had a chance to go to school.
Él no tuvo oportunidad de ir a la escuela.
Ever since he was 6 years old until he became 16 years, he always worked for his father and father's business.
Desde que él tenía la edad de 6 años, él hasta los 16 trabajó siempre para su padre y el negocio de su padre.
He is planning to stay with dad's cousin.
Él está planeando quedarse con el primo del padre.
So he does not oppose the stay away and no further contact from the alleged complaining witness.
Y o sea que no se opone a mantenerse alejado de la testigo de la oposición.
He just needs one time to get there to pick up his belongings, personal items, and his boss's truck with his cousin.
Él solo necesita una oportunidad para recoger sus pertenencias personales y la troca con la ayuda del PRIM.
And even though there were other charges, they are all not related to any kind of battery or violence.
A pesar que hay otros cargos imputados, estos no se relacionan a ningún tipo de violencia familiar.
This is his first battery offense.
Este es el primer cargo que él recibe relacionado con los golpes.
So we request for signature bond so he can go back to his job and he can keep his job working.
Y pedimos que se le otorgue una fianza bajo firma para que él pueda regresar al trabajo y poder así ganar su dinero.
That's it, Your Honor.
Eso es todo, Su Señoría.
Anything further, Ms. Mitchell?
¿Algo más?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so it's going to be $1,000 good bond. No further contact with Ms. Garcia. Stay away from the Sandalwood Drive address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to pick up any belongings, drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, Judge? The bond amount?
1,000 good.
1,000 good, thank you.
Bueno, la sentencia es de $1,000 de fianza, no tener contacto con la señora García y mantenerse alejado de la residencia mencionada del 402 en Sandalwood Drive. Él puede tener una oportunidad para ir a recoger sus pertenencias personales o lo que necesite y queda prohibido para él el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas.
Good luck to you, sir.
Buena suerte, señor.
Sí, gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Interpreter. We appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome, sir. Have a good day.
Be the same.
Thank you.
Your Honor, may I please be excused? That concludes my business, and we do have another meeting with the Solicitor General.
Okay, I'll see you next time, Ms. Mitchell. Have a good evening.
Thank you. You too, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Last case, Judge, is position 5, Mr. Hood.
Let's see, right.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hood. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Hood, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000632J with obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
41 total. There's several probation violations and FTAs in the history. Last arrest was 2019, failure to appear. 2016 FTA, battery, family violence, underlying charge. Another 2016 FTA, same thing. 2012 battery, family violence arrest. Disorderly conduct conviction from 2009. Yeah, it's just a lot of probations.
All right, thank you, Mr. Howard. Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place on yesterday evening at an incident location at 615 Oliver Street, Atlanta, Georgia, where Atlanta police officers responded to a dispute call at the incident location. And upon arrival at that location, Your Honor, the officers were met with a defendant who stood at the front door of the home and refused to allow the officers to investigate the call and speak to the caller. The defendant cursed the law enforcement officer with profane language, and there was another woman in the background who was screaming. Her name is Miss Marilyn Hood, that is MARILYN Hood, who also refused to come to the door. It created a hostile environment for that investigating officer who simply wanted to ensure that the person who made the call to 911 was not in any danger of their life or needing any medical attention or anything of that nature. But considering the hostile nature with the defendant at the door and the woman yelling in the background, the officers were forced to activate SWAT tactics. And during this, the officer heard someone say the word shooting. It wasn't sure what that meant or who said it or what they were talking about. So additional scene units did arrive to the scene, Your Honor. And that is when Mr. and Mrs. Heard actually stepped outside of the home. The officer did get a chance to speak to Ms. Heard, who informed them that it was her friend who was at the home earlier who called. That friend name is Miss Sheila Yancey, SHEILAY, Yancey, YANCEY, and that she was calling because the defendant was refusing to allow her to get some belongings in the house, and an altercation had taken place earlier in that afternoon. But Miss Yancey was not on site by the time the police officers did get there. Mr. Heard was placed under the arrest for the earlier altercation, and for those reasons, Your Honor, the state is recommending a $3,000 surety bond with no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as the condition. We are making this bond suggestion, a recommendation, Your Honor, because we do believe that Mr. Hood is a flight risk. As you've heard from pretrial, he has a history with several FTAs out of Fulton County, including from 2016 and 2019, others from Atlanta as well as several probation violations, including from Bibb County from 2016 and Atlanta from 2007, Your Honor, and including a disorderly conduct conviction out of Fulton County from 2009 as well, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Webb. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Hood is 59 years old, and he rents the apartment with his wife. He has 3 children. They're all girls, and he has a strong ties to the community that he's not a flight risk. Not only that, he has a medical condition that is serious, a coronary artery disease. Indeed, he has a stick in his heart, and he usually takes about 12 pills a day. And because of this incident arrest, he has not been able to take those medicines for the last 2 days. So we really need to have a medical attention to him. And also regarding this incident, actually it was not evening that happened. Mr. Hood was actually sleeping. It was midnight when police came over for the first time. So he was just kind of like half asleep, half awake, and it was kind of like very weird. Nobody called the cop from that location because it was not Mr. Hood, it was not his wife. That's why he didn't understand why somebody was coming in. And that shooting was all about like the night before that incident, maybe February 5, the neighborhood has some kind of shooting going on. It has nothing to do with my client. And he does have to go back to his work, which is He works at Temporary Services as a landscaper, and most of all, he really has to get his medicine. I request, Your Honor, to give signature bond for him, and that's it, Your Honor.
All right, $1,000 signature bond through the jail, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Hood.
And Your Honor, may I be excused to attend our office meeting for this afternoon?
Yes, Ms. Webb. Have a good
Thank
afternoon.
you. You too.
Completed here, Judge.
All right, thank you all. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
All right, so we have to go through the calendar. So I'm here with Ms. Bridgewater. As soon as she's ready, we will do that. Ms. Falk and Mr. Walker, do you all have to get going too? Okay.
Okay, good afternoon. Again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is the 22nd of February. Position number 1 is reset further notice with a total $4,000 SOB through the jail. Position 2 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position 3 is reset further notice with $5,000 SOB through the jail. Position 4 is reset further notice with $3,000 SOB through the jail. Position 5 is reset further notice with $1,000 SOB through the jail. Position 6 is reset to the SAP calendar with the $1,000 good bond. Position 7 is reset further notice with the $3,000 SOB through the jail. Position 8 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position 9 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $3,000 good bond. Position 10 is reset further notice with a $4,000 total SOB through the jail. And the add-on calendar is reset further notice with a $10,000 SOB through pretrial per judge. Are there any corrections, comments, or concerns?
Okay, doesn't look like there is. You all have a good evening. Be safe. We'll see you next time.